Okay. Yeah, so before we start with the session, I would request everybody to please note the following instructions on the screen. Yes. So as a part of this particular workshop, Doubts Dissected, we need to follow certain statements and we need to abide by this statement, which has been put forward by Toastmasters International and henceforth Division K. By attending this remote division event, you agree to the privacy policy of Toastmasters International as well as the unassociated remote hosting service, that is Zoom. Some of your personal information such as name, image, and other shared messages may be shared with other meeting participants and will be recorded by Toastmasters International, who may use the recording in the future as it sees fit. Your remote attendance hereby discharges Toastmasters International from all claims, demands, rights, promises, damages, and liabilities arising out of or in connection with the use or distribution of said video recordings, including but not limited to any claims for invasion of privacy, appropriation of likeness, or defamation. So kindly note these points and let's progress forward. So as we know that due to the present pandemic, a lot of people cannot meet physically weekly in the weekly meetings as we used to do. But then technology and creativity has always paved a path for all of us to maintain the momentum and maintain the regularity in our schedules, no matter how difficult it is for all of us. And with the help of Zoom and other such online platforms, we have been able to keep connected and we have always tried to grow and learn together. The biggest decision when we come to any online meeting is that of figuring out how the video conferencing software works and how we should present ourselves both as the audience as well as the presenter in order to put forward our message in a more effective way and make the same impact, maybe 80 to 90% of the impact that we have in physical meetings. Popular platforms for online meetings are present, but then today we are going to talk about Zoom and some other online platforms, which our first trainer is going to take you on a virtual ride on how to effectively hold meetings. Let's begin with the roundup of tips and tricks to help get your meeting and your contests virtually on track. Now, talking about the first speaker, now talking about the first trainer that we have, he's somebody who is a live wire, who is always very enthusiastic and always and ever smiling. No matter how difficult the task or situation at hand is, you will always see him smiling away the worries. He is the present Vice President Public Relations of Kolkata Toastmasters Club. He has been one of the prime and prime brand managers of District 41. Having managed online meetings, we all know how difficult it is to manage some of the queries and some of the challenges that we face. But this individual has managed not one, not two, but 4 international events. He has moderated 2 international events, namely the Global Online Speech Marathon and the Global Online Meeting, which had more than 250 plus participants. Apart from that, he has also moderated 2 joint district events. One was the joint event by District 98 and District 41, and the second was the Quadro event, which was a joint district event by 92, 98, 82, and 41. Without further ado, please help me welcome with a huge round of virtual applause the young and the feisty, the computer science 2B engineer, somebody who has created his own game with his friends. Our very own Toastmaster Deepak Bed. Can we have a huge round of applause for him, please?
Thank you so much. Good evening, Toastmasters, guests, tech moderators, future tech moderators. Welcome to Doubts Dissected presents Managing collaboration digitally by Toastmaster Deepak Bhatt. That is me. And thank you so much for the introduction, Toastmaster Mridula. So what are we gonna talk about today? Let's see.
Toastmaster Deepak, can you please unmute yourself?
Was I muted throughout? Okay. So these are the topics that we will be discussing tonight, starting with security and privacy, since everybody are so concerned about this these days. Then how to properly schedule a meeting, how to manage an online meeting, how to manage big or special events or workshop or any other such big events. Internet usage, this is going to be interesting since I have data to present. Other platforms other than Zoom, I mean, and problems that I have encountered. So basically, I'll be talking about situations, some weird scenarios or situation that I have been in and how I dealt with it. So starting with security and privacy. But what, but first, how are they different? How are security and privacy are two different things and people often confuse with them. So while privacy means safeguarding somebody's, when people talk about privacy, they mean safeguarding somebody's personal identity. By security, they mean safeguarding data. To put it in a better way, you can think it as privacy is the reason why you use curtain on your windows. And security is the reason why you use locks on your doors. So basically, when you use curtains, so you don't want other people to see what's going on inside the house. What are you eating? With whom are you talking? Such things. And by security, you don't want people to enter your house and play around with objects or steal them. So in digital, in virtual, we mean that when intruders get into a system and place some malware or play around in a system. And people need to understand this since Zoom has been in spotlight in past a couple of months. Firstly, everybody started using Zoom and suddenly Zoom was being accused because of their security flaws, and they have been accused that they are selling our data. So one thing that needs to be understood, that you can take any tech giants, whether it's Apple, Facebook, LinkedIn, Yahoo, everybody have been through these same scenarios. At least one point they had their data breached at least once. Even Apple's iTunes had once got their data breached. But all of them now have a situation to cope with these. And even today, each one of them gets hundreds of bugs and security flaws reported to them. But since they have a system to cope with such scenarios, they deal with it. But when you talk about Zoom is comparatively newer than them. So they don't have such a system. Also, they jumped from 10 million users to 200 million users real quick. So it was really difficult for them to expand uh, in to expand this big with taking this security and privacy concerns. But they are working on it and they have improved. And even the recent version of Zoom, they have put in end-to-end encryptions. So how do we schedule a meeting in such a way? So before that, let me also tell you that for the privacy concern, it was mostly the user's fault. There had been some design fault in the Zoom as well, but it was mostly the user's fault. And so how do we schedule a meeting in such a way that uh, that your meeting goes around as smoothly as it can? Time for some demo. So I'll show you. So firstly, put a relevant topic that you will be having meeting about, time and date. If you are using Zoom for a long time and scheduling meeting, then it will be like known to you. Now talking about passwords. So by default, they usually give you numeric passwords. It is a 5-digit numeric password. It's still not that hard to crack, but if you want to improve the security of your password, you have to use alphanumeric, some alphabets and numbers and characters. Well, this increases the safety. I had attended, and you have to put in strong password if you want to secure a meeting. Okay, but I had attended one meeting where they were using WebEx, and we asked them like, why are you using WebEx? Zoom is really easy to use. So he said that I even made a video on YouTube that Zoom is not so safe for us. And later when he shared meeting details, uh, which he created on WebEx, he put in the password. He set the password as 1234. So don't do it. 1234 is too easy to crack. It's like any noob hacker who just started into hacking can hack your meeting if they want to in just like a couple of seconds. So don't put any easy passwords as such as 1234 or any name as such. If you want to, if you want to have really super strong secured meeting. Okay. So while joining, keep your host video and participant video off, because you don't know what the other person might be doing and won't be in an appropriate manner. So it won't be good sight to see. Also, you can have both telephone and computer audio. So if you are living in India, this is not so useful. So you have to join through computer audio, and in advanced settings, turn on enable waiting room, disable enable join before host, mute participants on entry, because some participant might enter while the meeting is going on, and by default they are unmuted, so the noise will create disturbance in the meeting. Only authenticated users can sign into Zoom. So basically what happens is, if you check this option, and whenever a participant tries to enter, he or she must have to log in into Zoom. Okay, so I usually keep this off because some of our members have not signed up on Zoom. So they just tap on the meeting link and gets redirected. Automatically record the meeting if you want to, and alternative host. So if you want somebody else to join before you, or for example, you want you have created a meeting for your friend and you won't be joining us in. So just enter his email ID. He will become a host. And there are some additional settings that I'm going to show you. Can you see my browser? See my browser? Good.
Yes, we can.
So go to the Zoom website and then your account and then settings. So here are different settings: schedule meeting, in meeting basic, in meeting advanced, email notification and others. So here I have also turned host video off, participant video off, join before host off. So a couple of settings are similar. I require meeting. So there is 2-3 important things that I want to show you. First is this file transfer. Okay. So Zoom had this one security flaw in this feature, file transfer. Basically what you could do is you can send some files through Zoom to another person. Now this feature was not used in correct way, where the any intruder would get in and would transfer some malicious files onto other party's computer. So turn this feature off. If you want to share files, send them through email or on WhatsApp. Okay. I think they must have fixed this feature by now. Also co-host. So this one is co-host and polling. These two are the paid features. Since I'm logged in from my club account and they have Zoom Pro, so we have this. And there's one remote control. So keep also this one off. And breakout room. So it's actually will mostly will be used by district during the competitions, which I'll explain later, sometime later. And it requires two people to use this feature in a perfect manner. And rest of the things are okay. Also turn off far end camera control, virtual background. If you, so there had been some scenarios where somebody would join in and put some graphic image behind. So during those cases, if you want to turn off this virtual background, but we have a few members who use this feature for displaying word of the day or timers. So we have kept this on. So other features are not so important. Now, let's go back here. We have scheduled a meeting and the meeting has started. How do we manage an online meeting then? Okay. What are the different settings that you will see when the meeting has already started? So here are my 4 friends. One will join sometime later in the slide. If you're a host, you will see these options in the bottom toolbar: mute, unmute, stop, start video, security, participants, polls. If you have polls, and I have enabled them, so this is why it's showing me. Chat, screen, record, reactions, and this one will appear when you click on participant panel. Okay, you can see my mouse, right? Okay. So when you first tap, click on security, this is what options will appear: lock meeting, enable waiting room, share screen, chat, rename themselves, remove participant, and report. So keep your enable waiting room always checked on. And if there are no such participants, role players, speakers, or anybody who won't use share screen, keep this turned off always. Because if in a case somebody tries to be mischievous and shows something or turns or tries to disturb the meeting, so it won't be great. So keep this share screen unchecked if nobody is sharing. Then when you tap on this participant, this will pop up, okay, on the right side. Okay, so this is what it will look like. And if you hover on any of these names, if you hover mouse on any of these names, there will be 2 options. One is mute and another is more. Okay. So on more, if you click on more, this drop in options will appear, which will have chat, stop video, spotlight video, make host, make co-host, rename. Also, make co-host feature will only be available if you have turned on that feature in the settings, like I had showed you before. And also you must have a paid account. Putting waiting room, remove report. So use this feature. So sometimes what happens is that a participant has her videos turned on and is not aware of it and might be doing something which is not really good to our eyesight. So at one meeting, there was this participant who was digging. So instead of removing them, you can just turn off their video. And there was another time when a participant had his back camera, so the back camera of his phone turned on, and he was not aware of it. So yeah, in those cases, you can just stop the video, because you can't really interrupt in between the meeting. So it's better way to do this. I'll uh, tell about these options later. And there is waiting room. So when you have enabled waiting room and participants try to join in the participants panel, this is how you can tap on admit, you can click on admit all, and all the participants will join in your meeting. You can also put them back in the waiting room, put them back. Okay. What are the different chat settings now? So if you tap on chat, yeah, here it is, chat. Under the participants panel will open the chat window. Okay. So you can see there is this option to everyone. If you click on this, you will see whole list of participants who are in the meeting right now. If you check on this everyone, so whatever you will send will be received by everyone. If you want to text somebody personally, you can select their name, or you can like go to their name in the participant window and tap on chat. Okay. And there is another option, this three dot. Okay, more options. When you tap on that, there will be different settings that you will see. Save chat and participant can chat with. Options are no one, post only, everyone publicly, and private. So there might be some situations where when the participants are talking too much, okay, and it is really irritating and disturbing. So you can either completely turn off chat by checking on no one, or check on post only. So there might be also a situation where somebody wants to send you an important message. Okay, so they can do so to, if you check on host only. So they will be able to send text to the host only. Everyone publicly means whenever somebody sends, it will be visible. The message will be sent to everyone publicly and privately. So somebody can send message to everybody, and somebody to personal, somebody can text somebody personal. Next, renaming. So this is a really helpful feature to identify who are the speakers, and even if rename them. So before the meeting starts, you can ask the participants to rename themselves according to their speaker slot or evaluator slot or their role player names. So for example, I forget everything. So sometimes I forget like who is the R counter. So just rename them as, you can ask them to rename, but sometimes the participant, speaker, role player joins after the meeting has already started. So you can't really interrupt the meeting and ask them to rename themselves. You can text them, but you can also, if you are a host, you can also rename them. So you have seen this option, this one on your right side, rename. So go to their name and tap on rename. And this will pop up where you can change their name. I'll also show you a really cool feature, a benefit of this. Now coming to share screen. So you will see these settings on your bottom panel. On share screen, you will see this more options. So usually keep this one participant can share at a time only. Don't allow multiple people. And on advanced share options, you will see these options. So keep them as it is. Okay. You can change also this to only host. And if you have any participant, who is going to share screen, and if you have a paid account, you can create them co-host, so they will be able to use share screen and not other participants even after turning off shared screen. This one is really important. So whenever you share a screen, okay, and even participant has this option to turn off. Only the participant who is sharing screen can do this. So when you share screen, go to more and disable participant annotation. So what will happen is somebody may try to be mischievous, come and draw something on the screen. Okay. Currently I have drawn it by myself, but any mischievous person can also do so. So to prevent that, as soon as you start sharing your screen, disable participants annotation, because I have seen, and if you also have seen videos on WhatsApp and YouTube and Facebook, there are really mischievous students who would join the lecture and would start drawing really insane or crazy or graphic stuff on screen. So to prevent that, disable participant annotation. Okay. And only the participant who is sharing can do so. So if you already know that a participant is going to share a screen, so let them know beforehand about this setting. Now time for the drum rolls. Yeah, time. So different clubs use different ways to show timer cards, and three of the common ways that I've seen in different clubs are pinning video, spotlighting video, or share screen. So pinning video, so you can, the participant or the speaker who is going to speak can select the video of the timer, go in the three dots, and they will see this pin video option. So other than host, people won't see so many options. They will only see chat and pin video. So if you pin video, no matter who is speaking, the timer's video will be visible on your screen like this way. And when the timer will flash, it will be visible. So this is one way. Also, you need to understand this, that since I'll be talking about three common ways, and there is pros and cons in all of the three ways. So good thing about this is that a host can sit back and relax. They don't have to worry about that the speaker can see the timer or not, and it will be visible to the speaker screen. But if you have large number of participants, so sometimes it gets difficult for the speaker or evaluator to look for the timer in the gallery view. Sometimes, for example, if you have over 100 participants, so he or she, the speaker or the evaluator, must have to visit 4 different slides to find the timer. So in those cases, we can use spotlighting timer. So during, like I was saying, when you have large number of people, for example, in big events, you don't want to give participants the headache of finding timer and pinning them. What you can do is you can just go to the timer video. When the timer starts showing the timer cards, you can just go to the timer video, click on this 3 dots, more options, and spotlight video. When you click on spotlight, the timer's video will be visible on everybody's screen, on all participants' screen. Immediately cancel spotlight. So what will happen is the timer's video will be visible on everybody's screen for a few seconds. Let's say 3 to 5 seconds, depends on when you cancel the spotlight. This is a really nice feature, but it also has a demerit. For example, a speaker is speaking and he or she has a really important gesture to show, and just at that moment you spotlight the timer, so all the audience will miss that important gesture of the speaker. So for that problem, what you can do is share the timer screen slide. Okay? So the timer can share his or her screen, and so when he or she will start sharing, if you go to view options and if your side to side mode is checked on, if it is checked on, then this is how it will look. If you are in gallery view, you will also see other speakers lined up in this way. So the screen will be divided into two sections. On your left will be the shared screen, and on your right will be the participant speakers and other people. So at this first glance, it doesn't look so impressive because the timer screen is taking a large part of it. What you can do is you can see a line between the timer screen and the speaker, and you just have to take this slider. Uh, sorry, yeah, you just have to take this slider and pull it to your left. So this is how it will look after you slide the slider to the left. Your speaker will now take the majority of your screen. You can still see the timer. So the timer and speaker will be visible at all times. So this is a really nice feature, but the problem with this feature is that it gets really confusing to people. So if you are conducting a big event, don't do this. I have tried this and a lot of people gets confused. So I use spotlighting. But if you are attending contest, then this method will be used only. And if you have this side by side mode unchecked, then this is how it will appear. The timer screen, and on top, you will see all the speakers. So you can click on the speaker and the screens will be swapped. So the speaker is now taking the majority of screen, and there will be a small tile of timer. Now muting and unmuting. When you click on this mute all, you will see this option popped up. It says that current and new participants will be muted. And there is also a check mark, allow participants to unmute themselves. So if you are attending a normal meeting, if you are matching on just a normal meeting, you can leave this checked. But if you are tech moderator of a really big meeting with over like 100 participants, 200 participants, 300 participants, you won't be aware like who is joining in and who is going out. So it will be really difficult to monitor who is muting and unmuting. So just uncheck this. We have also done in this meeting. We have unchecked this. So the participants won't be able to unmute themselves. Otherwise, it will create huge disturbance. And some mischievous people also does this. If you have attended any of the online classrooms, college lectures yet. And a lot of our professors still don't know about this feature. And now the polling. So on the bottom panel, like I had showed you in the beginning, we had another option called polling. So if you have not created this poll, you can do so. When you tap, click on polling, it will ask you to add polls and it will redirect you to the browser where you can add polls. So this window will pop up. You can add title, questions. So this just for the demo. Hello everyone, how are you doing today? There are two options, good and not so good. So after you create polls, this is how it will look, and you can launch polls. The polls are launched. So while I was creating this demo, there was nobody. So nobody pulled it, nobody. And after, you will also see how many people have voted in percentage as well, and it will show you live feedback. Okay, only to the host only as of now. After you end polling and decide their results, only then it will be visible to everybody. So you can use this for votings. If you are using like you, Google Forms or Survey Monkey like you used to do in your normal club meetings, that's also fine. If you want to use this one, it's also great. Totally depends on you. Now managing big and special events, workshops, etc. So you have to make sure about these registrations in order to know how many people are going to attend. So this is really important. Also, you can send them personal emails for marketing purposes. Dry run with your participants, speakers, role players, at least twice, so that they get hang of how you are going to control and of the uh, of this platform if they have not used it before. So in the dry run, you can also show them muting and unmuting feature that you will be using. So for these large events, just take control of unmuting participants to yourself only. I mean, if you are host, take the control to yourself only. Timer, use spotlight or pin video, however the other participants, speakers, role players are comfortable. But I would still suggest, because it's a big event, you don't want other participants to take the headache to themselves. You just want them to focus on their performance. So use spotlight feature to show the timers. Chats, like I said, either completely disable it or to host only. If you think that other people are texting too much, because somebody might be texting you personally and that chat will get lost. If it's somebody from your team, they may text you on WhatsApp, but if there are other participants who want to give you an important message, it might get lost. So just it is my advice to keep that to host only. And statement. So if you are organizing a big event, workshop, or anything, just like Mridula uh, showed a statement, you should definitely show a statement like this online. So this one is for demo purpose only. So your event name, statement, your event name, by attending this remote area or division, district. So this was provided by our district. Contest or event, you agree to the privacy policy of Toastmaster International, as well as unassociated remote hosting service. Some of your personal information such as name, image, and any shared messages may be shared with other meeting participants and will be recorded by Toastmasters International, who may use the recording in the future as it sees fit. Your remote attendance hereby discharges Toastmaster International from all claims, demands, rights, promises, damages, and liabilities arising out of or on in connection with the use of distribution of said video recordings, including but not limited to any claims of invasion of privacy, appropriation of likeliness, or defamation. So do read out this before your event starts. And now time for internet visit. So you might have heard other participants, or if you are VPed and you go out to ask to seek for role players, and the other members say that they have really poor net connectivity and they won't be able to join, or even if you just invite them to join or listen and they say that they have internet uh, network problem. So Zoom has a really good feature of minimizing. Let me show you. You can minimize Zoom window. So when you minimize it, this is how it will look like. Okay, only the speaker who is speaking will be visible in this small window. And you can see here how much data it's consuming. So currently I have turned off my video while recording this, taking this screenshot. I had turned off my video and microphone. So there was not much impact on the data that was going out. And the data that was coming in was on an average about 200 kbps, 250 kbps, or 300. That was okay. And if your network still like is not supporting you, don't want you to attend the meeting, is really bad, you can also minimize this one, even this one. So you will see there are these options when you minimize it. This is arrow, microphone, video, and this is to maximize. Just click on this arrow and it will completely minimize, and you will still be able to hear. For example, if you are playing a counters role where your visibility is not so important, so just minimize your meeting like this, and turn on your microphone when it's your time to speak, and then turn it off again. And while you during this uh, minimization, you can see uh, the data that is it's sending, it's really minimum 48 kbps and 96. This time my microphone was turned on, that's why it's 96 kbps right now. And when you maximize it, okay, yeah, minimizing zoom window saves data. So currently my video is turned on, so it's taking 152 kbps, and this one is capital B, so it's kilobytes, and this one is small b, kilobits. So this one is actually a larger data than this one. Okay, so small b, small data, and capital B means it's larger than this one. So 152 will be nearly, I don't remember actual the conversion, but as far as I remember, it's 8 times of this one. Okay, so 152 kilobytes. And when I turned off my microphone and camera, it's 80 kbps. And when I minimize it completely, like I go out of the Zoom window, the meeting is still running, and I forgot to capture it, but it's even lower, like 20 or 30 kbps. Now, what are the different platforms that you can use other than Zoom? Here are the some that I know, that are Jitsi Meet, Google Meet, Cisco WebEx, Microsoft Teams, Skype. So among these, I know about Jitsi Meet. I've used it. It is a really good and also not so good, because it's mostly for the developers. So if you're somebody who wants to create your own platform, or if you don't trust in other parties, for example, Google Meet or Cisco, you don't trust them. So you can create your own server and deploy Jitsi Meet. And so basically you are hosting your own meeting. And also if you have some really crazy idea about, okay, I want to create this video conferencing software that will have this feature. So this is an open source, you can download it, and if you know coding, you can definitely convert it the way you want. For that purpose, Jitsi Meet was created. And Google Meet, I haven't used it, but since it's good, Google, it should be good. Cisco WebEx. So this one is usually mostly used by corporates, and I had used it, and my experience was not so good with WebEx. It used to consume a lot of data. Also, even though other participants had their camera turned on, it was still not visible to me. And Microsoft Teams is also good. Skype has been there for a long time. It's good, but I still like Zoom a lot. I think Zoom is a really easy to use one. And there is one feature that I was talking about, breakout tools. So I won't be talking about here much, since if you are invited to be the tech moderator or SA, you will be given training on it separately again. But I can tell you about in just. So what will happen is, if you are a participant in evaluation contest or table topic contest, so all the participants will be sent out in another room with Sergeant at Arms, and when from the host in the main room will broadcast a message in the breakout room that send this participant back to the menu. So the Sergeant Arms in the breakout room will send that particular participant back to the main room, and the participant had to sit like with both their hands visible throughout while they are in the breakout room, to ensure that they are not using any other thing for that purpose. And in Cisco, they also have breakout rooms, but in breakout rooms, they just can't turn their video on. So yeah, completely useless for contests. And Microsoft Teams, I haven't used it, but I have heard that they are a bit unstable in their breakout rooms. And I'm not sure if Google Meet or Skype has that. So if you are competing in any contest, you will at Toastmasters, you will definitely be using Zoom. The district will be using Zoom for contests. So want to hear some stories now? Actually, not really stories. These are just some situations that had occurred uh, during the meeting. So one of the situation was volume muting and unmuting. So I thought like it's really easy to use feature, like what can go wrong. So I just set it up, and I had another tech moderator along with me. I told him that now you uh, take it over. I just sit back and relax. And after a few minutes, what I see is some participants are able to unmute themselves. I thought that there might be some glitch since it was in talks that Zoom has some security flaws and privacy issues. I thought there might be some glitch here. And even after muting them again, some other participants were able to unmute themselves. And later I saw that he messed up those settings completely. So it is really important that you get your hands on completely on your whatever platform you are using, and you should know the ins and outs of these. And there was another situation where there was this sort of contest going on, and before declaring the winner, the host unmuted everybody. So whoever the host was, I don't know. So he or she thought
Hi,
that
Deepak. We need
yes,
to wrap up in the next 3 minutes, please.
in the next 3 minutes. Okay, okay.
Yeah. I mean, we need to wrap up in the next 3 minutes, plus say a couple of more minutes, say about 5 minutes for the question and answer round.
Okay, okay, okay. Sure, sure, sure.
Thank
No
you.
issue. Thank you so much. So what happened was the host unmuted everybody in the hope that when the winner's name will be declared, everybody will start shouting "Yay!" or the winner's name, like the usual thing in club meetings. But the microphone that our device has another feature, has another hardware included. It's called amplifier. Or I don't remember actually, but what it does is if you scream out too loud, it will lower down your volume. And if you whisper and even if it's slightly, uh, even if your microphone is able to hear it slightly, it will increase the volume. So if you go beyond that limit, it will try to put you in that limit. So when everybody was unmuted, and there was so much noise that when the winner name was announced, it got mixed with those noise, and it was not hearable at all. So don't do that. Don't unmute anybody. And there was another incident where the host had some network issue, and he or she, I don't know who the host was, and he or she thought that let me just join back. And instead of leaving the meeting, the host ended the meeting. So don't do that. If you want to join again, just leave meeting. Don't end meeting. And missing participants. So there was another time. It was in the international event where the evaluator. So evaluator 2 was already there, and evaluator 3 I couldn't find him. So I wrote down his name on the search filter, and it was not visible. So it turns out that the evaluator 3 had joined in from somebody else's link later on, because he got disconnected, and that person had shared his link to 20 people. So now there were 20 people with the same name. So I had to immediately text in the group that, sir, where are you? I can't find you. And he said that, yes, I'm in the meeting. So I just had to say, I can't find you. What name? Okay, just turn on your video. So he turned on his video. So he was visible in the third slide. Fortunately, he was visible. So if you are taking the controls of muting to yourself, make sure that the person who will come after the current speaker, you make sure that he or she is already there in the meeting. So these are some of the situations. Now, answer time. Just a
Yeah.
humble request. Go easy on me, guys. I barely pass in exams.
Okay, so thank you so much, Deepak, for conducting such an insightful session and such a comprehensive one. So I would request everybody to, I've unmuted everybody, so I would request you to share your queries
Don't
in the
unmute
chat box,
everyone.
or you can direct your queries to Deepak.
Yeah, just like I said, don't unmute everybody at once. You
Yeah.
can raise your hands. I guess I forgot to show you how to raise your hands, because when you are a host, you can't uh,
Right. So
see
we
that
have
option.
Nidhi. She
Nidhi,
has raised
yes.
her hand. Nidhi, can you please unmute yourself?
Hi Vivek, Nidhi here.
Deepak.
Sorry. Hi Deepak. So sorry.
Okay, no issues, no issues.
I'm still into
Yeah.
my club. Yeah. So Deepak, I wanted to ask if we can use a video as our virtual background.
I'm not sure about that actually, but yes, you can. Actually, I've seen GIFs for sure, but I haven't seen videos yet.
Okay. You have seen what? I couldn't get you.
GIFs, GIF.
Oh, GIF.
GIFs.
Okay,
Yes.
GIFs.
So I have
Okay.
seen GIFs for sure, but I haven't seen videos yet. I have not even tried it because my system doesn't support it so good. So well.
No, a very, very short one, probably a very short
Yes.
one video.
Yeah, sure.
If at all, is there any option you can tell me?
Since I'm sure about GIFs, you can convert that short video into GIF and put it as your background.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much.
I'll also see if it works and get back to you.
Yes, Deepak, I'll get back to you.
Anybody
Thank
else?
you.
Anirban. He's one of those in the slides. Yeah, Anirban.
I was just asking, a co-host cannot send someone back to the main meeting from a breakout room, right?
Right. This is why I said that you will need 2 hosts, and it can only be possible from the district account. They can have multiple hosts.
We have Toastmaster Bimal raising his hand. Toastmaster Bimal, can you please unmute yourself?
Mr. Deepak,
Yes.
I have one question.
Yes, sir.
Suppose I am a speaker,
Yes.
how do I feel with my timer actually? Because
Sorry?
last time actually I faced very much problem. How can I use my pin video with a timer actually?
So for pinning video, you have to search in the timers video.
Yes.
And if you are using phone, you just have to double click on the timers video and it will be pinned on your screen. If you are using phone, yes, that's it. If you are using phone, this is the way. Or if you still find it difficult, just before your speech, just let the host know to spotlight the timer. So you can just keep speaking the way you are doing. And when the minimum time is up, the timer screen will be visible on your screen.
Automatically.
Yes. You just let the host know to spotlight the timer beforehand.
Yes, okay? Yes. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Toastmaster Deepak, we have a question from Toastmaster Rishi. Toastmaster Rishi, can you please unmute yourself?
What I understood from the meeting is we can we block someone individually, or when we are blocking someone, it will be for all the participants?
No, you will have to block people individually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I got confused while you were sharing the inputs, I got confused whether it is for only individuals or all the participants. So
You can
that
also
is
select the participants. So, yeah.
okay. Okay.
You don't want to create a meeting and then just block everyone, right?
Okay.
So Deepak, Toastmaster
Yeah.
Pooja and Toastmaster Krish have raised their hands. So can
Sure.
they?
Sure.
I think these are the last two questions which we'll be taking for today.
Okay.
Yeah, Deepak,
Yeah.
there's one thing which I am not able to understand. I'm technically a little challenged. So when, let us say, I have good bandwidth and I want to switch on my video and audio, and you don't have good bandwidth. So how does my switching on video and audio affect you?
So basically, since your device is giving out data and sending out to every other participant, right? So if you have a good bandwidth, it will take like, since I too have a good bandwidth, and if I turn on my video, it sends out around 1 or 1.5 Mbps data, 1.5 Mbps per second. Okay. So what happens is, on the receiver end, since he doesn't or she doesn't have a good bandwidth, so the video or the whole meeting will start lagging for him or her. So this is why, like, if you have good bandwidth, you can keep your camera on, but for somebody who has low bandwidth, just minimize it. And Pooja.
Okay.
Yeah, Deepak, I had a question. Like, if I have multiple polls that I want to give out, like if I'm the host and there are multiple polls by different speakers, then how do I launch the polls? Like, if I saw that we can launch a poll, but if we have multiple times, then how do we segregate which one we want to launch and which one we don't want?
Right. So I'll just show you once again in the polls. Just a second. This one's close, right? Yeah. So at this screen, you can see polling one, right? So after giving the title, it will be changed. And if you have multiple polls for different speakers, there will be a drop-down menu to switch between different polls. Okay. I hope this answers your question. And you can add. Can't hear you properly.
Your screen is not visible properly. If you can increase your slideshow view or something, do a slideshow view.
Okay. This is okay. I'll better show you like after the meeting. But
yeah,
since we are running out of time right now.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Deepak, for conducting such a wonderful session. Can we show a huge round of applause, virtual applause for Toastmaster Deepak, please?